What's going on, people? Welcome to the live match reaction. As you can see, smiles all over my face. Nick is pointing the scoreline 2-0 Palace. It was so easy, like ridiculously easy, that it got boring towards the end of the game. How much Palace dominated. I mean, I was not prepared for. I did think we would win, but I was not prepared for a game like that. But the most ideal way to go into the cup final, the FA Cup final at Wembley next week, Saturday. We will be there. And of course, Palace going into it with a clean sheet, another win away from home. And to be fair, the scoreline does not reflect the performance. I think Spurs were lucky today that Palace only ended up scoring 2 goals. It was ridiculous.
3, were it not for a shoulder pad or something. Well,
it could have been 3 or 4 or 5. It could have been easily 5. It could have been easily 5, and it was ridiculously easy. But we got the job done. And before we get started and get your thoughts on it, Nick, I thought from the management to the players, you can see it. Both teams are in the final. However, Palace were up for it. And it comes down to the mentality. When Oliver Glasner speaks, he doesn't talk for the sake of it. He literally proves himself every single time he step out on a pitch. The players have not been focused on the cup final. And you saw it today. It was another Premier League game. We went out there. We dominated. Should have scored more. And we leave with 3 points. And only, I think, how many? 1 or 2 points? What point? How many points are we on right now? From 50, which would be absolutely amazing. But what was your thoughts on it?
Well, I had Tottenham fans who were there messaging me through the game. I'll read it out from my mate Martin Compton, my old college tutor. Your lot are playing for a place in the team. Our second team couldn't play our way out of a paper bag. Absolute effing disgrace. We've been bad this season. This nails it. This is why Ange has to go.
They got dominated. Honestly, that side that was out there, and you can tell why they're 17th, which is absolutely crazy that they are 17th. But
20 defeats.
Yeah, they'll lose games in the championship. They'll lose so many games in the championship. They were so poor. But I think it comes down to us as well. I think defensively, we were solid. We didn't allow any spacing behind. And most importantly, I think the biggest thing, if we're talking about the defense, was our press. We didn't sit back. We pressed them high up the pitch. And we didn't allow them to have really any opportunities. So I think it's a credit to us more than anything as well.
Yeah, there were so many players in that defence. Well, none of them had a bad game, did they? I thought everything Chris Richards did was spot on today. Gay unlucky with that handball. There was nothing he could do about that. When you're flying through the air and the ball hits your hand on the way in the goal, there's sod all you can do. But football's football, isn't it? And the crowd just dominated their forwards. I don't think they wanted to play. Tell was on the floor all the time, wasn't
he? Yeah. And especially in the first half, there were so many injuries. They stopped the play, and despite that, we just kept it going. We didn't really stop. It didn't really stop our momentum. And some of the football that we played, when we talk about our possession, I think the pressing was excellent. But in possession, though, I know there were tight margins. We'll talk about the offside goal, especially the first one, because it was a bit confusing. It was incredible. Building out from the back, getting the midfield open, balling behind. I mean, Munoz, there was that chance that he should have probably took a shot rather than giving it to Eze, which was offside. As I said at the start of the show, 2-0. Tottenham should take that and run away with it, because that could have been much worse than 2-0. But in possession, with a change in midfield, very promising. If we're looking at a City side that's going to press us high next week, and we need to be prepared for that. But the tempo was on point today, as well as the quality.
Yeah. One thing I was going to ask, when did why have long throws come back into fashion? Because we got 2 long throwers, haven't we? We got Lerma and we got Richards. And the good thing is when the ball comes back to him, he can put a decent cross in, can't he?
Yeah. Well, with the set piece coach and set piece, whether that's throw-in, free kicks, corners, we haven't scored yet from a long throw-in, but I think we're going to get there eventually. I've got no complaints. We were excellent once again, even in corners. But going to the lineup now, there was changes in midfield. Wharton, we already knew going into the game, he's out. Hopefully, should be fit for the FA Cup final. Glasner said that's 90% chance, so it's looking positive there. But Kamada didn't start. which was actually a surprise to me because we've seen it. Glasner goes with the strongest 11, and he done that in the build-up to the Villa game as well. Kamada started that game, and he started the semi-final. What do you make of the changes in midfield if we exclude Wharton, especially Kamada going to the bench?
I think with Kamada, he's one of Ollie's favourites, isn't he? We've kind of established this, and he did have a couple of loose passes. I mean, everybody had a loose pass. It's part of the game. I think Lerma was in there, and I'm going to allude to what my mate messaged me earlier. Is I think he's told Lerma, right, earn your place for next week.
Do you Lerma or Hughes? Because I thought it was more for Hughes to earn his place in the side, especially after his performance when he came on against Forest. And I mean, I guess the conversation can go now because of the next game is the FA Cup final. But I thought Hughes had a great game once again today, especially in possession. When you're looking at City and what they're going to do, especially with their press, you want someone composed on the ball. And I think Hughes is more composed than Lerma is on the ball, even though Lerma's better off the ball. So I think it was a great audition for Hughes, but it shows the depth as well, which is a real positive. The fact that we can change the midfield too and have Hughes and Lerma start there and still dominate Tottenham as we did, it shows to the credit of especially certain areas of the squad. We looked at, the transfer business and saying maybe it was done late, but especially in certain positions, it seems like we've got real strength there that we don't have to start Kamada and Wharton, which have started well together, and still dominate as we did. So I guess it's a credit to that. But are you looking into that? Do you think that there could be a possibility of a change in midfield? I know it's still early shouts talk about in the previews and stuff, but do you think Kamada could potentially not start against City based on his squad selection today and some of the performances?
Yeah, I mean, Kamada's come on recently. It's like he's adapted to the game, but I'd take Hughes over Kamada any day of the week. Although, a couple of loose passes again from him. I think somebody said that in the chat. But yeah, Hughes is just seems to have a bit more grit about him. Do you know what I mean? And gets himself out and gets in players' faces. And I think he's more similar to Wharton in that he likes to play a quick ball. He seems to know where to play the ball ahead of receiving it. Kamada not quite got that. Lerma again. I think it's his defensive abilities that really help us out. And actually, I still think he's a better centre back than he is a midfielder. Yeah,
well, because of his passing, I think there is an argument there. But even though today I thought Lerma had a great game, but overall, when you look at some of the games,
nobody had a bad game, Dave.
Yeah, no one exactly. Everyone is like
apart from
Tottenham. That's it. No one from Palace. We didn't have any changes in defence with Mitchell starting again, which I think people expected it, to be fair. Chilwell clearly wasn't going to start this game. There was no real indication of it. But I'll be honest, Mitchell has been improving as the games are going on. I'm not talking about defensively, because defensively we already know like Mitchell has been very good throughout the season. But on the ball, he's looking a bit more composed. He's getting into the right spaces, quick passes. He had one or two moments today where he could have done it a bit better. But overall, that's what's impressed me the most about Tyreek, because that's the area of the game which can pretty much slow him down. But today, he was going forward, he was an option out wide, and that's how we hurt Tottenham from the wing backs. And we can talk about Munoz in just a second. But Mitchell, what's your thoughts on this overall game, especially going forward?
Well, do you think I agree completely with everything you just said about his improvement. His crossing in, he did that lovely loop ball into the box, didn't he? That I can't remember who nearly got onto it. But I think it's having Chilwell there as well, just to push him, and also as I know he's not that much older than him, but as a mentor, you could see a couple of times the camera cut to on Glasner chatting with Chilwell and bantering with Chilwell, and I think Chilwell's quite important in that squad, albeit that he's a lone player. I'd love it if we could sign him, because he's all right. There are better players out there, but the fact that he's in here, fits in, he can go in and just play the same system and have that calm and mature head on him.
Yeah. The lines are open. If you do want to call into the show, feel free to click on the pinned comment and we'll bring you on live. But yeah, look, today I saw that as well. When I saw it, it gave me because when what's that song? I can hear some popping stuff. I don't know where that came from.
That
But
was
yeah,
it, sorry, another match
anyway.
on my special web page.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, today when the camera panned to Glasner laughing with Chilwell, I was actually happy about that because it was getting a bit weird with Chilwell's situation. Not that I'm really fussed about it, but as you said, it's a very good point. Having someone behind Tyreek is naturally going to improve his game. We've said that all along. He hasn't had proper backup options throughout his Palace career. Not even we're talking about 1 or 2 seasons, for many seasons. So next season, of course, that's going to be an area of focus, but maybe that's what's pushed him. But especially going forward, I don't know how much of an impact Chilwell's had, maybe in training or just speaking to him as well. But it seems like overall the squad is happy, despite Chilwell not playing as much, even though he came on today. And I thought he actually looked decent today, Chilwell, going forward. And also defensively, he wasn't bad either. He knew what to do at the right moments. Maybe Chilwell coming to the squad, even if it's on loan to the end of the season, of course, that we've seen it. Maybe that's giving Tyreek the push. So it's giving us an indication that, you know what, he's still got quality, but of course he just needs a backup option, which every player does. Every player does. If you don't have no competition, you're going to be relaxed naturally.
It's also sort of taken him maybe a bit longer to adapt to the role of a wing back, but I think that's where we've really flourished today. Both Munoz and Mitchell getting forward, and Spurs didn't know what to do with them, did they? Munoz especially. I mean, he gave a 10 out of 10 today. Well, 9.5 had he shot instead of passing, but.
Munoz was incredible.
Yeah, how does he do it? How does he do it?
I genuinely don't. He needs to get studied. He needs to get put in a lab, and his fitness needs to get studied because he can run. Honestly, I want to see. I don't want to go to extra time against City, but I genuinely want to see how long Munoz can run on for. I reckon he can do 2 extra times. I don't think he was about 1. He just doesn't look tired at any point of the game. He keeps going and going and going, which is incredible. But today he was a massive problem. Of course, he got another assist, which I think Bill goes up to now 5 assists for him for the season. So I think he's got like 11 GA or maybe 12 GA, which is very good, of course, for a wingback. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But constantly, he was a threat. Apart from that opportunity, of course, which he should have shot rather than giving it to Eze. He was a menace, and he's been fantastic for us this season. And it's a player that everyone, Kapora, should be looking up to. Mitchell should be looking up to because he's always at the right place at the right time. And he's honestly, for the opposition, you can see it. If Munoz was playing for another team, we would say the same thing. He's a real area of focus, a real danger man, which actually opens up space for the likes of Sarr, because you can't leave Munoz as open when he's attacking forward. If you do, then he's going to put a ball in the box or he's going to take a shot. And we saw it hit crossbar as well, despite that Eze chance that he should have actually took a shot. So he hit the crossbar, should have probably scored a goal as well. And he's massive because I think his performances links to Sarr's performance as well, because Sarr was fantastic today. And I think that's because Munoz is just opening up space and providing that width. But are you surprised by how many goals and assists he's got so far this season?
No.
I feel like he could have had more, to be fair.
Is that good? What I will say is Mitchell, I think, is slightly better than Munoz defensively. But going forward, Munoz is one. But he's just, I think when he retires, he's going to do ultra marathons.
Yeah, but do you think that Mitchell-Munoz combination, I was thinking about it going into like potentially next season as well, do you think that combination works well together? Because if Munoz is bombing forward, you still got Mitchell who does attack as well, but he provides, he's a better defender than Munoz. So technically, if one was to stay back, it gives us more defensive cover. Do you think that balance is what's actually helping us?
Yeah, definitely. And there was more focus on Munoz's side as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all
yeah,
those in the first half. But it's I don't know. The other thing is how fluid we are, whether that comes with confidence, but how quickly we broke with the ball. The chance that Mateta could have scored and shot, the chance that Nketiah had when he shot too early, where was it Gay played the ball through to him?
Yeah.
So many players now who can hit pinpoint longer passes, which is good. We've got players who all seem to have the tick-attacker evolution on FIFA. Just one touch passing. We know where each other's going to be. And I know confidence breeds confidence, but we just looked so almost chilled. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like an easy. It felt easy. It didn't feel like the players really had to go into second or third gear, because I think we were just so tactically spot on that the spaces were open. Like the players didn't really need to go full force. And it was a 10 out of 10 performance, but it just didn't feel like we had to work very hard for that. We just didn't. It was just like typical Palace, which it feels like under Glasner. But I think that goes credit to also Glasner not really rotating the side as much, doesn't it, Nick? Because we're keeping this rhythm going despite the FA Cup run, and we saw it against Arsenal before Villa. This game as well, once again, not only is it a confidence boost for the likes of Eze, which I don't think he really needs a boost, but he's got another boost if he does. 2 fantastic goals today, which we haven't really spoke about as of yet. But boost to the whole team, clean sheet away from home, dominant performance. We never really dominate possession, but today we had more possession than Spurs, and they're meant to be this attacking side. So it just falls down to the players and the manager. The manager got it completely correct today, and the players just listen to whatever he says. They make it look easy. That connection is there. Let's bring on Tim.
For him in that team, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%. It feels like we're all together as one, and I think that's the greatest compliment. Even the players that's coming off the bench, I'm not seeing any sulking. They come on, they give 100%, and I think that's down to the manager. It's the top man that's got everyone connecting and believing in this project. Tim,
what the hell was that? What the hell was that? I mean,
it got boring towards the end. I don't know what you lot spoke about and watch along, but there was nothing to talk about because we were in control, clean sheet. Spurs only had 1 shot on target.
It was incredible, D.
But it was like
it was incredible. Alex called it before the game started. He looked at the Spurs lineup and said, "Well, it looks like we're playing a training game." I'm paraphrasing, but D, honestly, it was kind of a training game. That was a training ground game. That was shocking how easily we cut them open. I don't know what Ange is thinking, but I don't care. What a performance by Palace today. I think just one thing I want to point out, I mentioned it in the chat. We'll talk about the watch along was great. We did have a rando Spurs fan. I'll talk about that in a second because it ended up being quite funny. But the thing that I'm really liking, because you were talking about Mitchell, do you notice this, D, that, and this is, I credit Glasner for this, Glasner's philosophy of, if you don't I will always back you if you make a mistake, but if you don't try, that's the thing that is going to bother me. And he's made this very clear in like all of his press conferences, his interviews. And, Ty is trying to take on players now and dribble. And he had a couple of successful dribbles today. Like, he was never doing that before, but he's kind of feeling it and just sort of getting out, dribbling into some space, and then looking for the forward pass. It's been, it really is a joy because I absolutely love, I love seeing him feel confident and smiling and playing with the kind of joy he's playing with. Ebbs, absolutely sensational. Back line again, but special shout out to Mark. I thought Mark was so dominant today, D. Even when things got a little bit wonky, Mark always got right back into position. He's very unlucky that the ball hits his arm there for that third goal. You can't, it's not a goal. You can't score with your arm. So he's just brutally unlucky there. But what a game he had. He was constantly, he had at least 2, maybe 3 great diagonal passes where he just feeds it into Munoz. And like you were both saying, Munoz was that guy.
He could have scored another goal. He could have scored probably 2 goals. Maybe 2 goals. Assist. He could have got 3 GA in this game.
It was incredible. Munoz was cutting them open for fun. It was really fun to watch. And maybe my favorite part is Kinski gets him out in no man's land. And he's just, Munoz a little bit unfortunate because it's straight on. It's shoulder to shoulder. That's a perfectly fair challenge. He just gets slightly unlucky. And if he gets that ball, it's a wide open net. Again, it's like a repeat from Man United last year in the 4-0 where he wins the ball in the corner and he just delivers a pass and boom. I mean, it's crazy. What a game. Spurs were shocking. They were absolutely terrible. But Abir is right, who said something about how we ran Pete out the door. We had this guy in the watch along, and it was kind of hilarious just trying to banter Spurs. We're a small club and we're the biggest club in North London. And I just kept saying, I'm like, you see the way your team is playing.
Yeah,
right?
How can you talk?
Can you tell me, give me something so you can just defend your team. Tell me how this is okay with you. No response.
We scored more goals than they had shots on target.
It was incredible.
I come in and watch along and talk rubbish. Like, what?
It was incredible. But
I still can't believe, I know we didn't today, but I still can't believe every time we get a corner, the commentators are going on about how we're the set piece specialist. Remember how long did we go without scoring from a corner? And suddenly
we were one of the worst teams in the whole league. And now, genuinely, whenever we get a corner or even like a free kick, there's a genuine threat. Like, I'm like, this could be it.
Yes.
This could be the goal. Like, we're very close. Today, we actually scored from a set piece. And let's actually talk about offside goals because, Tim, you watched it at home. Nick and I did as well. The first one, I mean, Mateta, like, I don't even know what they look. The interesting one, the interesting thing about the first one is that where they showed where it was actually offside, it was like,
it's in the build-up.
Yeah, it's in a build-up, very early on in the build-up.
Yeah.
And when you look at it like that, some people were complaining, saying, come on, like, are you serious? All the way back there. But what was your thoughts when I watching at home?
No, that's just, I'm glad that semi-automated offside is in, but I don't think it solved the problem. You still need, I think we need to change the offside rule.
I think they are, Tim.
Say more, Nick.
I'm sure I heard that as long as any part of the body is in line with the defender. So it's almost saying you need clear space between the attacker and the defender for it to be offside.
Okay, if that's the case, I am for that because I don't like the millimeter offside. The tie needs to go to the attacker. Like that offside should be, the spirit of offside is you're not cheating. Like, you're not getting a foot in front. Yeah. Like, that's the offside.
You know why it was brought in originally, Tim?
Say more.
Well, people were just standing in the penalty area.
Yeah, there you go. Right? Like, it ain't basketball, it's football. So like, I mean, it's, so I don't like the way the offside rule is. If like a fingernail is off, then you're off. The tie needs to go to the attacker. Like, it's only about it should prevent ill intent. Like, if you're trying to cheat, then fair enough. It's got to be offside. But I really do hate that. So this is my thing, D. I like semi-automated offside. That's a good thing. But we need to change, we need to get back to the spirit of offside.
Yeah. It just feels a bit ridiculous saying that if Man City were to score a goal like that next weekend, it's to be ruled off, and I would have no complaints.
Yeah.
I would have no complaints. I mean, yeah. But
fair
of course, today we could have scored even more goals apart from that chance, and we did end up scoring more goals. And then the Lacroix one, the handball decision, it was disallowed by Gahey. I mean, Gahey can't do anything about that.
No, he can't do anything about that. But I back that rule in the sense of you just can't score with any part of your arm. It sucks. It's really unlucky, but is what it is. I feel for him because there's no way he intends to use his arm to score. He absolutely doesn't. But my rule on this, D, is always, if that had happened to Palace, would I be upset? And if there had been a goal like that for Man City next week in the FA Cup final, I'd be fuming. I'd be losing my mind. So, yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Imagine that was an FA Cup final. Oh my days, I'll be losing it because Mateta's feet
Same.
was even in our half of the pitch.
Right.
It's just, yeah, like, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, I think
The Gay
yeah,
one, the ball actually takes a different direction after it hits his arm as well, which again is a big contributing factor to whether.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. So you can't count it, but
Talking about Eze, we haven't really mentioned him. 2 goals today. But second half of the season, he's really stepped up. He's stepped up.
Ebbs loves the warm weather.
Yeah,
warm weather,
he's
Ebbs.
He stepped up to the plate, and I think that's now 24 goals and assists this season, which it doesn't feel like it because of some of the conversation that was had at some points of the season. But 2 goals today, probably a disappointment for him that he didn't get a hat trick. But
that's true.
Yeah, he could have potentially got a hat trick if Eddie. Maybe he couldn't have, but that one-on-one chance for Eddie, he's going to always go for the shot. So
I think, were it not for the fact he was on 2 goals, I think he would have come off earlier.
Yeah.
What fantastic form to go into the cup final with! I think that's a goal in his last 4 games.
100%.
And today he was unbelievable. What's changed for Ebbs from the start of the season to now?
I think he's found his footing in Glasner's system. Like originally, remember early in the season, we were saying this a lot, is he's a creative player stuck in a direct system, and it just didn't seem like it fit. And Ebbs was going to really need to figure out how to fit. But what's working now is you have the right side is super direct, very fast in Sarr, and just and he's got such a good partnership with Munoz. It's really drawing players over, and it's leaving Ebbs free in some space. Ebbs is getting a lot more space now because Sarr is such a huge threat, and he's loving life. But also, he is also playing, I think, head up, very confident, and he's making space for other players too. I think it's the second goal. Please correct me if I have this wrong. But the move that he starts it with, he gets the ball, he's driving, he's moving it forward and just running down the pitch. And he gets a phenomenal ball into Munoz in order to complete the play. It's just, the man is feeling it. He just looks joyful. And we know when Ebbs is happy, he's lethal. And he just looks lethal right now.
Yeah, he does. That pass was incredible, by the way, to Sarr. That was
to Sarr. I'm sorry, not to Munoz, to Sarr.
Yeah, to Sarr.
Can I ask Tim a question, if that's all right, D? I know it's going a bit away from this game, but we've played today with such fluidity, albeit Spurs were complete pants.
Yeah, they were terrible.
How important is winning next week to keeping this squad together?
My gosh, it feels massive, Nick, doesn't it? It just feels so big because if we're going to Europe, I think you're going to have players saying, I want to be with this team. I want to go on the European adventure with this team. I feel that's what it feels like. Now, business reality may be totally different. And it may just be that that's me speaking as a fan. And I'm justifying how badly I want the FA Cup for this club. So it's entirely possible that I'm just making that up because I want it so bad. But it does feel like that, doesn't it?
For Mark, especially, I think that's the big one. Gahey, could he sign another year if we were to win the cup final and go in and play European football? Could he stay on for another year? Potentially, yeah. Potentially, yeah. I think there was actually a report, I can't remember from who, I think it was a few weeks ago, that he might be open to staying if Palace get European football and win the cup. So it could have consequences. And it does make sense as well because, look, he's playing for England. He's a regular start for England. He'll be playing European football. If Glasner's staying as well, clearly every player has belief in the manager. We've seen it as well so far this season. A manager who's won,
and he's won the Europa League, right?
Exactly. So I think it does make sense. Of course, these are reports. It's not factual information. But if we do win the cup final, I'm looking at Gahey more than anyone to see if he ends up staying. And I think Gahey,
I think that's right.
In the past, I have said that I'd rather he was sold rather than Elise or Eze, especially last season, because I feel like we could sign a replacement better, especially in defense rather than attack. But how he plays in defense, especially when teams are pressing us, It is unbelievable. He is so composed on the ball, and technically he's amazing because he can just beat the press easily, and goes past one player, then all of a sudden you have space open. You beat the press, and I think Gay does that fantastically, building out from the back and getting the ball. So yeah, next week's game is massive, not just for players staying, but of course for the history of this football club. We can do something that's never been done before, and we're heading in the right direction based on performances like today. Look, we faced City not too long ago. Of course, the result wasn't that great at the end of it, but the way that we started the game was similar to how Spurs game was. I mean, we created so many chances. We were 2-0 up, and we could have actually scored more goals. Funny enough, it was another VAR decision, a tight offside by Eze, that stopped us going 3-0 up. So I think we'll create opportunities. I think today was a great indication that I think the Palace players will be up for it, but. Let's just see when it comes down to it actually what happens, because I like to say based on the manager and the players and what's been going on throughout the season, not even just this game, that we could do it, but we'll just see next weekend because I think that game is more to us than it does to City, because City right now they still got Champions League to worry about. And in honesty, I don't. Of course, you're going to a cup final, you want to win a cup final, but for them, Champions League is massive. They've had the privilege of winning trophies left, right, centre. They want to be in the Champions League, and Pep said it after the Southampton game, by the way, which was a 0-0. Southampton kept a clean sheet against them. That we're going to go to the end of the season, and they got a game on Tuesday. So I don't know if he does any rotation or anything for that game, but we're heading in the right direction. And it's a perfect way to go into the cup final. It's similar in a way. Funny enough, we played in North London in that one against Arsenal. The Arsenal game, and what happened in that game away from home. We got confidence in that game. That was 2 games after, I think, the City one or Newcastle. No. I mean, 2 games after the Newcastle game. And then we got confidence back in that Arsenal game. It was a great performance. We go to Villa. Well, we go to Wembley, beat Villa. And once again, we go to North London now with Spurs. A great performance. And the next up, we're going Wembley once again. So it's the ideal way. I mean, if we talk about routine, that's a perfect routine to have. Go to North London quite.
Well, doesn't it matter that? I mean, this is what I think. I really wanted us to make history before we're going to try to make history, and we did that. Never wanted the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's over. That curse is dead and buried now. We absolutely smashed them on their home ground. Never done that before. Did it today. This
first time since the double. First time we've done the double with Tottenham since 1907.
Yeah, I mean we've done a lot this year. This manager has completely transformed this club. The stat that I think is most useful, and then I'll get out of here and let you get to some others that I think is most encouraging for me. Coming into the City match next week, Palace created 19 chances. 19 chances created, and 4 for Spurs. They had 4 chances created, 23 shots to Spurs' 8, 10 shots on target to 1 shot on target. That in order to beat City defensively, we have to be unbelievably sound. We're going to have to play with a lot of intensity, and we're going to have to find ways to turn the ball over higher up the pitch to create a lot of pressure on them. We do that and do it consistently over 90. I think we can win that match. If we don't, it's going to be a lot harder, but I think we can do that.
How many goals have we conceded ever since the City and Newcastle game? Because I was thinking about it while I was watching the game, and barely any since that one. Since especially Newcastle, we kept the clean sheet against Bournemouth, 2 against Arsenal, 1 against Forest.
1 against Forest. Yeah, we've gotten back to better defensive form.
Yeah, since the Newcastle 5-0, we've conceded 3 goals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games now.
Yeah, I mean Jamal is right that wasn't even a warm up for City. So it's not about that. It's not about that being the warm up for City. It's just about keeping confidence. And I think this is a confident side. Last thing, and I swear I'll stop and get out of the way here. But City is going to claim that they are playing for De Bruyne, who is leaving at the end of the season, and that's true. Fair enough. But you know what I want? because I believe he deserves it. I want this for Joel Ward, who I want to have a testimonial. Like, I want Wardy in the squad, and I want this cup for him, because that guy has been an absolute stalwart for this club. I know he might not. Glasner is not going to make emotional decisions that way, but I feel like this is going to be the last we're going to see of Joel Ward in a Crystal Palace kit. I think that's right. I think this is the end. And fair enough. He's been absolutely brilliant. I want him to go out with the cup, because he came in first season and we get promotion. So I want him to go out with a cup too.
Well, he was in a squad against Villa. Do you reckon he's going to put him in a squad against City?
I hope so. I hope so. I would like to see that, because I think I just don't. I think this is the last we're going to see of Joel Ward. But has there been a better servant for this club in recent years? Not
you said in recent years. I was going to say Jim Cannon, but that
that is you could absolutely go back, but in recent years in the Premier League era, he's been one of our absolute stalwarts.
Just quickly, are we surprised about SA coming on ahead of Francois?
I used to be surprised by that, but then I've seen the reports that Glasner has been really impressed with him in training. And so if that's
dropped out the squad as well in the semi-final for Joel Ward, basically, because Joel Ward he remained in the squad. So I'm interested there, because if Francois came on against Southampton, scored, got us the equaliser. And now it seems like SA is getting nod, but that's good. It's positive, because we want competition. We want 100%. Competition. That's what we want, and we've been lacking it for ages. Where you have players who's coming on because there's no one else there. So
before you go, Tim, one last thing.
Yeah,
Son didn't score against us.
That's it.
That's another record.
You know what? That's another one. You're right, because he loves a goal against us, doesn't he? That's so. Yeah, you're spot on, Nick. Exactly right. All right, guys. What a
Thanks
day.
again for the watch along, you and Alex. We'll try and get something sorted for the cup final if you both put up for it. Keep it going. Of course, it's been working, so we don't want to ruin the tradition. But I'll message you anyways. Then we'll have we'll get away before.
We'll talk about it. All right, up the Palace, guys. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. That's Tim having to say. If you do want to call into the show, you can click on the pinned comment to join us live right now. Let's bring on Caesar. Caesar, how you doing?
Yeah.
2-0 win. Yeah. I know that you're not a Palace fan. I remember you've called in before. What do you make of it? Did you watch the game?
No, I have not watched the game, but you have done it.
Yeah. What do you think about Palace's chances in the cup final against Man City?
But in England, I'm a Man City fan.
Yeah. Oh, so what do you reckon then? Because City drew against Southampton.
Yesterday, I have some City fans. The game against Southampton, I thought we were winning that game.
Yeah. It wasn't a great performance. Do you reckon Palace could do it then?
Haaland is back
against his own team. Yeah, Haaland's back. What do you think about Haaland playing instead of? Does he slow the game down a bit?
Always.
Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I have not watched the highlights yet, but oh my God! Finally, he's back, brother.
Yeah. Let's see. Hopefully, we can upset you. You win so many trophies at Man City, and then you could win. You could hopefully qualify for the Champions League. But I appreciate you calling into the show. Take care. Yeah.
Thanks for winning from Club Bruce today, and we have won the cup.
Oh, that's nice. See, you've already seen your team win a cup, so hopefully it can be Palace next time.
And
all right, then, take care.
People.
Take care. See you later.
Take care.
That's what he's having to say. But yeah, did you see the City result yesterday, Nick?
I saw one of the City players commenting that Southampton were really boring and played for the 0-0.
Oh yeah.
Can we play like that next week? Or get Roy back in for one game? No, I'm joking.
But yeah, it was a surprise. I actually watched the game a bit. City had a few chances, but Southampton, funny enough, they played a similar system to us in that game. So it was actually interesting. It was interesting to see, and I'm pretty sure Oliver Glass and his team have already watched the game, and they'll watch all the games ahead of the cup final. But
you've got that thing though where their fate is sealed. They're just playing with almost for enjoyment and pride, and So they've kind of had the shackles loosened a bit, haven't they?
It was a good result for us. We'll see what happens, but now they've got Champions League to focus on. There's other teams behind them now chasing for Champions League, and they've really won it. So they've got that back.
Newcastle won today, didn't they? Forest won today.
I don't think they won. Did they win? It was a draw.
Or was it 2-2?
Yeah, 2-2. They drew against Leicester. Forest are just dropping down. I know Liverpool are beating Arsenal 2-0 in the 35th minute. So that's interesting. But yeah, Forest drew. So that would have been better if Forest won.
Their second goal looked more offside than Mateta's disallowed one.
Yeah. Let's bring on Jamal. Jamal, 2-0 win today against Tottenham. Great performance. And for me, I think that was a perfect way to go into the cup final.
I agree. A win is always real confidence. But as I said in the chat, I feel if we played our second string squad, we could have won that game. They did not lay a glove on us. You know, we talk boxing.
Yeah.
At no point in time was I afraid that they would score a goal from corners, from set pieces, from their counterattacks. And at one point, I don't know if you realize, we drop our standards to theirs and just start mispassing the ball and stuff. They really are not a good team, to be honest.
Yeah, we beat them with the strongest team. Remember, they had that.
Yeah.
And we still kept the clean sheet. So do you think it comes down to? I know Tottenham are not great, but do you think it also comes down to Palace in terms of how we played defensively? Because I thought we were great.
Crystal Palace has come a long way from Soroy and Patrick Vieira. Every game, I am not sure if you have the same feeling as me, but every game we play, I believe that we can win. And I mean, genuinely believe we can win. Even if we need to sit back and break, or like in this game where we had more possession than them and control the game. I genuinely believe that we can beat any team in the league once we're on our game. I just genuinely believe that. And if you look at it, our two new starters now, which is Kamada and Wharton, they weren't even there. We had Hughes and Lerma. How many teams in the Premier League cannot start with their two main starting midfielders and still perform at that level?
Yeah. It's just it's the depth. I said it at the start of the show. I think the depth is there. But what do you think about the decision to not start Kamada in this game? He started it against Arsenal before the Villa semi-final, and there was actually like shorter break. And now we've got potentially rotate start one of alongside forward in the cup final. Do you think Kamada still starts?
I think how it works with Glasner's, the relationship with Kamada and Wharton is really good. So that's why you normally pair them together. And I'm not sure if you remember when Kamada was having a bad time and Wharton was, I think he had his surgery. Hughes and Lerma played together and we were playing fantastic. It was only when Hughes got those two, the rain is coming. When Hughes got the two game suspension that he ended up being benched, and Kamada and the rest came in. And then Lerma went to right back. So I believe it's more of a partnership thing. And on the part of Kamada, most likely once Wharton is available, Kamada is start. Kamada looks forward a little bit more than Lerma does, right? But he's not as physical. So you will see when we got transitions, you will see that Kamada normally plays the ball forward with more precision than Lerma. And Wharton always plays a lot of one-touch passes, which gets Palace up the pitch faster than Hughes. So that's probably why he starts those two over Lerma and Hughes. But theirs are fantastic as well.
Yeah, yeah.
We're in a
What's going
position
on with the
now,
weather
aren't
over there? Sorry, Nick. Just quickly.
we?
Sorry, I wonder. What's going? The sun is out here, and I'm seeing rain and clouds. What's going on over there? Why? I've never seen rain or clouds. Whenever you call Jamal, this is the first time I've seen it. What's going on? It's like a rare occasion.
In June, coming to June is when we have rainy season in the Caribbean. So we're gonna get a lot of rain between now to December. Yeah.
True. I went to
So rainy season is coming.
last year in June, and there was rain, but it's still warm, right?
Yeah, it's still warm. Yeah, it's still very much warm, but just little showers. We call it blessings here. Yeah. Tim, you were saying something?
You're blessed with sunlight throughout the year, anyways. A bit of rain here and there probably would go a long way. Go on, Nick. What was it? Sorry.
I was
Sorry,
just going
Nick.
to say, we're talking about the depth. We're not in a position anymore, are we? Where we're worried about players coming on. Oh no, Jeffrey Schlupp's coming on. No, we've even Devaney coming on. We're not worried about it. We're confident in the sub.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm a bit disappointed though in Eddie Nketiah. Even before the red card, I believe the times that he comes on, and if you realize he always gets a really good chance, right? And that ball from Marquis, I think it was around like 85th, 86th minute, over the top. He was one-on-one against the goalkeeper, and he just made a bad decision. I'm telling you, if that was Matata there, that was a goal. I'm telling you, that was a goal. But for some reason, I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know, but he doesn't impress me when he comes on. He just doesn't.
Nottingham Forest as well, and he had that one shot from a wide angle, and he was like, "Why are you going to shoot from there?" I feel like he's just trying to get the goal. I feel like it is down to confidence. I feel like he's trying to kind of force it. It's in his head, but I don't know. That's what I think, anyways. By the way that he plays, he's trying to force that goal. He's trying to get the goal, and I think if he keeps it simple, more time he'll get more opportunities and score more goals and get more assists. But I feel like when you're forcing something, it's just not going to work.
It just shows how psychological football is, though. You know, you can be as skillful as anything, but if your head ain't in the right place, I mean, look at when we've gone on bad runs, and you can see it in the players, just their body language, that they're not in the best place. Suddenly you've got this confidence, just come off the back, letting him 5 twice, and we've just like washed it off like water off a duck's back. And just that confidence is just built and built and built, and this is a perfect time now to be going into the final.
Yeah, I agree, Nick, and that I have this belief that rising tides raise all boats. So it was saying that Eddie would also get the confidence feeding off a Star, feeding off a Matata, feeding off of these guys, and they're happy and then performing. But even though Palace is probably has to have been in years in terms of love and passion and togetherness, and he still seems to be a notch down, not feeding off the guys. You can imagine what that changing room feels like. Think about it. You can imagine what changing room, but yet you when you come on, even with the red card where he got the performer, it wasn't a need to. We were winning the game. It wasn't like if we needed. So it was almost like, I'm not sure if he totally buys in to Palace right now. I don't know if it needs to take another season, but it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel that way from watching television. I don't know what happens in training. I don't know what happens, when the guys are out, but it just feels to me like he's been sick. Sometimes he has simple passes that he passes too hard, or he tackles a little weird. It just seems that he's out of sync with the team. Everyone that actually comes on the pitch, you can actually see that the quality either raises or on the same level. But when he comes on up front, we can't kick the ball overhead. He doesn't get it. We pass it on the ground. Don't think I'm picking on him, but I'm just saying is that this is what I have noticed. That when he comes on, the quality drops in attack.
Do you think he has too much time with his? Because the chances is really sort of scuffed. It's normally when he's got too much time. It's not instinct, is it? It's great if he's in there in the box and can poke the ball in. But if he's 1-on-1, that seems to be his downfall a bit, doesn't it? It's almost like he's got too much time to think about it. I know it's only fractions of a second anyway, but it's...
Yeah, I understand that. Even the Villa goal, that he scored against Villa, it was a touch, you know. So the header he scored against Millwall, it was a header. Like it definitely could play a part. He missed a 1-on-1 against Brighton as well. He had time. He had all that time to think about where he's going to go. So I feel like when he's had time, it hasn't really helped him in a way. When he just has to quickly make a touch or something, then he can do that. So that's an area of the game he needs to improve on. But then we've seen it with the likes of Kamada. Look at Kamada at the start of the season compared to now. He's in genuine contention now. We're talking about where we start final. At the start of the season, if we had any of this conversation, people will say, "Are you crazy? Kamada starting? Why on earth would you even think that?" So sometimes it takes players a bit longer to adjust. And we'll see with Nketiah going into next season, because of course he's still going to be here in the long run. Jamal, just quickly before you go, for the cup final, there's a question here: who would start as the midfield duo?
I mean, Wharton and Kamada. I mean, there's no question about it. I love Hughes and I love Lerma because they're a little bit more physical. Because that's me, I like a more physical approach. But as you realize, Kamada and Wharton is a lot more mobile than them, right? As a pair. I'm talking about pair now, but individually as a pair. So I would start the Kamada and Wharton. And listen, people could talk. And this is my feeling. I guess a little bit biased, but I really believe Palace has a genuine chance to lift that trophy once we play the way we have to play. Right? I don't mind all the crap that DS talk about against South Palace and sticking back. Because really and truly, if we score 2 quick goals, Palace is going to stick back. Because that's how we play. So it's up to them to break us down. So I don't care how what they say, if we win it scruffy or not, but I just believe that this is the coming of age for Crystal Palace as a football club and these players as well. That's
I agree as well. Look, Jamal, take care. And hopefully we'll catch up with you after the cup final. Hopefully it's a positive one. Let's see. It's one of the biggest games in the club's history. So hopefully we can do it.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right, then. Take care.
Bye-bye.
That was Jamal having to say. We're going to wrap up in about a few minutes' time. If you do want to call into the show, you can do so now. You'll be next in line. All we have to do is click on the pinned comment. If you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. We're nearly on 100 likes. So thank you to every single one of you that's done that as well. But Nick, focus, I guess, is now on the cup. How you feeling?
No, can we catch Brighton? That's what my focus is.
I really couldn't care any less about catching up to Brighton. But yeah, 3 games left in the season, 2 league games, and of course the big cup one. Now that this game is settled and out of the way, that's the next focus. How are you feeling?
I'm getting well excited. I'm like an 8-year-old waiting.
Well, we should be nervous though, right? It's a cup final. Why
I'm nervously excited. This will be the 3rd time I've seen us play in a final, because the Man United first one we went to a replay, and we were robbed in that game because we should have had a penalty and the ref gave a free kick outside the box in the replay. We were robbed against Man United last time when Operation Wickham was through. Was it Wickham who was through and got pulled back and the ref waved play? Yeah.
Clattenburg game.
Yeah. Where he shook hands with Ferguson before the game. And so we just need to fucking win something for once, please. It's my 50th season of supporting Palace next year. So I'd like to think that we could win something in our first 50 years of me supporting them and going to Selhurst.
Yeah, look, I've been thinking about it as well. I've been thinking about if we win, what happens, the celebrations, everything. It would just be incredible. It would be incredible. And I think the players know as well how big of an occasion this is. Not for just this one game and winning a trophy, but they'll be remembered as legends forever in the history of this football club. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not about that game in particular. You'll never be erased from Crystal Palace's memory, like ever. We will go one day, but they will still be there. So for that reason alone, I think we've got a right manager we've seen it with the league games and the cup games that he's balanced the mentality. The players have got rhythm going. They've been focused. So if there was a year, hopefully it's this one. Hopefully it's this one, because I have been thinking about what's going to happen after we win rather than worrying about can we win. Like, it's just, let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Games like today, especially, and the players just staying focused, it gives me even more confidence because, we've just been on point. We've been on point recently. Any other thing you want to add before we wrap up?
Well, if we do win Saturday, Glasner will be our greatest manager, even though Sir Steve got us into third that time.
Yeah, 100%. And if we do win, there might be a missing report on me because I don't think I'll be coming home for a few days. I don't know where I'll be, but I'll be celebrating for a long time.
In that wardrobe behind you, floating down the Thames.
We're doing everything. I'll be doing everything. So it should be fun. But you're going to the game, right?
Yeah. I'll be there. I think I'm in 1-3-4, just behind the goal again. So I didn't see much of the game in the semi-final, to be honest, with all the flags and whatever. But what an atmosphere in there!
Was he in 1-3-4 in semi-final as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, it's good that you got your. I know some people were struggling to get tickets. I think they're fair release more tickets now.
I was just lucky that I accidentally bought season ticket plus by mistake because I.
Oh, is it? Oh, so you didn't have that problem? Yeah.
So I was all right. My son's got it as well. So
It just quickly, honestly, even at 10 a.m., all the lower tier was basically gone. The tickets are now sold out. I think there's like a waiting list. They might release more tickets depending on if the sponsors, etc., give it back. But it's pretty much it is sold out. It's sold out in phase 2, literally within 48 hours. So I think
unsold City tickets left.
We'll take those, but I don't think they're
like Palace fans in the middle of all the City fans.
That'll be like a home game at that point. It won't even be a neutral venue if they give us City fans tickets. But even like the resale, like I don't honestly, City, of course, if you're a fan, you want to see your team win a trophy, right? But listening to even Big Steve, who does Big Six, etc., they've been used to this. They've gone to Wembley, God knows how many times. For them, it's like another day. It's not even like another day out. It's another day, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some City fans saying, "Oh, I'll skip this one because I've been to so many other ones." And like, I just get the feeling. I get the feeling from City that it is another game. I don't get the feeling that it's a cup final. Let's take this out. They'll probably have like a club funded tifo, some flagged club funded. There were empty seats in the semi-final game against Forest.
Yeah, exactly. Right? But they've been there so many times. You can't blame fans for picking and choosing which ones they go to.
It's like a home game at this point for them. They go there pretty much every other season. So it's like, it's not the same occasion. But for us, I think the atmosphere should be incredible. It should be incredible. And that before the game will just get the players going. So the weather should be good as well. Right
23,
now,
according to my app.
Yeah. Pure sun, no clouds. I got 21. But regardless, 21, 22, 23, it's going to be hot. It's going to be nice. And hopefully it is the day. But look, we're going to wrap up now. Of course, there'll be loads of content coming out next week ahead of the build-up from the Cup final. If you have enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below after the stream ends. That's it from us. And until next time, up the Palace.